On today's episode of Time About the Movies, Madea is back, and I'll give her this, she had the better cross-dressing movie comedy of the year, besides Big Mama's Like Father, Like Son, but really isn't saying a whole lot. And this isn't even that good either. It's Madea's Big Happy Family, Tyler Perry's latest film. We also have Reese Witherspoon, Robert Pattinson, and Christoph Waltz starring in Water for Elephants. And we also have Disney Nature's latest feature, African Cats. So only 3 movies to look at today on this April 22nd, 2011. That's today on Time About the Movies.
Help you get these children over. Yes.
I ain't going.
What are you doing? I'm so glad you're here.
Lower your voice.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Everybody, here's Madea.
Dum diddy. You on the roll, girl. You on the roll.
Shake that.
Yeah, when even the Maury set looks much cheaper than the actual Maury Povich show does, you can tell how pretty cheap this movie is, and that's at the end of the movie. You spend all this time waiting for that moment. They put it in the trailer like it's a big selling point of the movie, and it's literally the last 5 minutes of the movie. But anyway, welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the 3 films of April 22nd, 2011, and we do start off with the 6th film in the, I guess, the Madea cinematic universe. I'm literally reading it off of Wikipedia, and it literally says Madea. Yeah, right there. There it is right there. So I guess Madea's going to eventually cross over with the Avengers at some point, which, let's be honest, that probably would make that Marvel, that would actually probably help Marvel at this point in time, but this is Madea's Big Happy Family, and it tells the story of Madea finding out that her niece is dying from cancer as she gathers her niece's children and her family members together to deal with the news while contending with the different issues between them. So you have a whole assortment of different characters, one of them played by Loretta Devine, which I always like Loretta Devine whenever she shows up in any movie, and she'll have a couple of movies coming our way in the next month, because she'll have this and then Jumping the Broom, which Jumping the Broom is a much better movie, but you also have Bow Wow in here, David Mann, Cassie Davis, Tamela Mann, Lauren London, Isaiah Mustafa, the Old Spice guy. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now look at your man. Now back to me. Natalie Desley, which I haven't seen her in anything in a long time, but probably not since Babs, if I'm not mistaken. But you have Rodney Perry and Shannon Kane. And it is what you think it is. I mean, it really is a movie that you really do need to go into it. Being a fan of Tyler Perry and seeing what she has to offer, if you don't know Tyler Perry, chances are you're probably not going to enjoy this movie. And if you find her comedy funny, you'll find it funny here. And like I said, it's a better cross-dressing comedy than Big Mama's Like Father, Like Son. At least with this, the effort was at least put in there to do something that was actually funny for the audience that's going to like this movie. Big Mama's insults your intelligence. This one knows its audience all too well. And really, it's a movie tailored strictly to its audience, and I'm unfortunately not that audience, so naturally I'm not going to be fully invested in it. But I'm not going to say it's that bad in general. It just didn't work for me. It's just a film that I know fits a specific audience in particular, and I know going into it that more than likely I'm not going to find the real enjoyment in this. Fans of Madea are going to love it. So what else am I going to say about that? So yeah, not much more to say about that one. That's Madea's Big Happy Family for you, and I hope people who saw it had a big, happy, good time with their family. I don't know. I don't know how to end that one, but let's go ahead and move on to our next movie. Robert Pattinson, Christoph Waltz, and Reese Witherspoon starring in Francis Lawrence's Water for Elephants.
Excuse me, sir, can we help you? You know circuses?
Thank you, tell you what. It was the Benzini brothers.
That's the most famous circus disaster of all time. Are you telling me that you were there for...
Right in the middle of it. I don't know if I fit that circus.
Crowds run on tricks. Everyone plays. You're a beautiful woman. You deserve a beautiful life.
See, they're giving water to the elephants, so now we have a reason why the movie is called Water for Elephants. Yeah, I still don't get the title of that movie either, but this is a movie where you have two people, Jacob, played by Robert Pattinson, from Twilight, of course, who meets Marlena, played by Reese Witherspoon. It's love at first sight, their shared affections for an extraordinary elephant, stirring profound feelings of compassion within both of them. Theirs is a love that could span lifetimes, though the wrath of Marlena's dangerously domineering husband, played by Christoph Waltz, threatens to spell tragedy for all involved. And here's the crazy thing about this movie. I kind of like the film, but let me put it this way. It's a movie that works in every department, except for the story. It's another one of those movies that I guess you could say is style over substance. I mean, the movie overall has a lot of good elements to it. I mean, there is a lot of good stuff in here. I thought the three actors in here were very good. I mean, Robert Pattinson, here's a chance to really show what he can do and prove that Twilight was simply a fluke. And, we just saw him in a movie that's not Twilight related, and Remember Me. That was terrible, but really it wasn't his fault. It was just a bad script overall. But here, this is a movie where he's really given a chance to show what he can do, and this is probably the best thing I saw him in up to that point. I thought he was actually really good in this, and it's funny how in both Twilight and Remember Me, he's given no depth. He's only given one emotion throughout those movies, and in Remember Me, he's just given this really shitty Brooklyn accent, way too much emotion, to the point where it's just like, tone it down a bit, dude. And he has no character whatsoever, but in this, it really is him acting and showing what he can do. He's doing a great job at it. And it reminded me of what Zac Efron was like when he stopped doing the High School Musical movies and started doing stuff like, 17 again, me and Orson Welles, and even in something that wasn't that great, Charlie St. Cloud. But, Reese Witherspoon and Christoph Waltz, they work very good too. And I'll say this, though, we are getting to the point where Christoph Waltz is starting to take on a ton of villainous roles because, hey, he won the Oscar for Inglourious Basterds a couple years ago. So let's make him the villain in every movie he's in. And yeah, in a couple of movies that would be fine, but it's fine in Inglourious Basterds and in The Green Hornet. But in this, it just felt like they were really pushing it too far. I mean, I really don't want to see that guy go down the same path as Mark Strong, playing so many villainous roles. And I mean, he kind of would continue on with that for a little bit, but he kind of toned it down after Django Unchained, after he won that second Oscar. And, yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see he got away from that, but there was a point where everyone just felt like they had to get the Jew Hunter because, he was the bad guy in that movie, and we need a bad guy for our movie. And, yeah, I'm glad they got away from that, really. I'm really glad they have gotten away with that, so. But, I mean, the best thing really about the movie is the elephant in this. Rosie, who's played by Ty the Elephant, which I think we've talked about him before, because this elephant's been in so many other movies. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, it's an elephant. I mean, how many movies could one elephant be in? Well, this is an elephant that has been working since 1981. He had an uncredited appearance in Quest for Fire. Yeah, an elephant has has to be uncredited in a movie. It's amazing that he even gets cast in these movies, but, this is an elephant that's been in Big Top Pee-wee. He was in Roger Kipling's The Jungle Book. He was in Operation Dumbo Drop. He was in Larger Than Life. He was Shep in George of the Jungle. He was in The Scorpion King, Looney Tunes Back in Action. He was in another Reese Witherspoon movie, Vanity Fair, back in 2004. He was even in Exit Through the Gift Shop, the documentary by Banksy. I mean, this elephant has been everywhere, and it's amazing that this elephant lived to be 52 years old and have all these movie roles, to the point where they actually credit him in the movie, and it's just like, that's really something. And, hey, truth be told, the elephant does a really good job in here. It's weird that the animals usually are the best things about this director's movies, Francis Lawrence, and of course and you really feel sorry whenever something bad happens to them. Of course, like what happened with the dog in I Am Legend. But I mean, it's funny too because also while this elephant was praised for this movie, there was also a lot of controversy erupting because she was mistreated prior to filming, and they actually had a video out there that was leaked showing footage of the elephant being shocked with handheld stun guns and beaten around the body and legs with bull hooks, and it's just like, good lord, man. It's just like, this elephant went through hell and back, and the fact that he made it all the way to 53 years old, I mean, that's incredible. That's amazing to think about in that situation, but it's a fascinating story, man. You gotta look this stuff up, because I'm reading this Wikipedia article, and it's just like, there's so much stuff in here. This is stuff you would probably need to cover for a documentary of its own, and maybe give me an idea, because I just finished the Siskel and Ebert documentary as of yesterday, and looking for a new idea. So maybe that might be enough. Maybe that might be something for the future. But like I said, the biggest problem with the movie in general is that the story overall is pretty weak. I mean, it lags a lot in the middle to the point where I was falling asleep. I mean, let's put it this way. I was 22 years old when this movie came out and I saw it in the theater. And if I have to be put to sleep because of how bad a movie like this is, how boring a movie like this is, then clearly something is wrong here. And I didn't like the opening and closing caps with Paul Schneider and Hal Holbrook. You see it in the trailer there. And I thought they were okay, but honestly, they kind of felt unnecessary to the storyline. Like, you could have easily had this be a period piece storyline that takes place in the, what does this take place? The 1920s, I think it is? 1920s? That's close, 1931. Like, you could have had it just set in 1931. You didn't really need to have these end pieces here. And I feel like they put it in there because, for some reason, the audience is too stupid to figure out, you know, what the 1930s were all about, apparently. Like, I don't know. To me, it felt stupid. And I didn't think they were bad. I just thought they were unnecessary to the story. And that's kind of the problem with Water for Elephants. The story is bad, but everything else about the movie I thought was pretty good. I thought the visuals overall were nicely done. I thought the casting was very good. The elephant is surprisingly charismatic, and this felt like what Dumbo probably should have been, the Tim Burton live-action Dumbo movie. And it probably could have worked that way had they gone in that direction, but as far as this goes, it's fine. There's nothing about it the story is a mess, but the rest of the movie is just, it's just okay, I guess. It's nothing bad, nothing great. Just, if the story had been better, this probably would have been one of the best movies I've seen up to this point in the year, but sadly for what it is, mixed opinion, leaning towards a slight positive thumb up, but kind of in the middle. So it's one that I don't really go back to a whole lot, but I mean, they at least put an effort into it, so I got to give it that. And hey, Francis Lawrence is going to have much bigger success the following year with the Hunger Games coming up, but that's for next March. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last one that we have here: Disney Nature's African Cats.
Are calling African Cats the real-life Lion King. Fascinating, magnificent, spectacular. African Cats, narrated by Samuel L. Jackson. Rated G. Now play.
See, Disney, you didn't need to make a live-action version of Lion King. You already had it with African Cats. Just put in Samuel L. Jackson as Scar and Patrick Stewart as Mufasa, and boom, you got a movie there. It's just like, can you imagine Samuel L. Jackson as Scar telling not Mufasa, Simba, telling the older Simba that he killed his father? He's like, I killed Mufasa, motherfucker, and Patrick Stewart's just like, yo, motherfucker, and just be that guy from that movie Safe House. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a hilarious scene where Patrick Stewart just goes batshit crazy and just starts shooting this gun into these holes for no particular reason. It was like a made-for-TV movie that was supposed to be a drama, but I'm sorry, when you have a scene like that where Patrick Stewart is literally shooting a gun and shooting it in these holes, I mean, that's a comedy, man. And I say Patrick Stewart because he actually did the narration for the UK version of this, while Samuel L. Jackson did it for the American version of it, but I don't know, maybe I might have made the Lion King a whole lot better. Live-action Lion King. Samuel L. Jackson as Scar, Patrick Stewart as a Simba. That could probably work, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about this movie called African Cats, which is an epic true story set against the backdrop of one of the wildest places on Earth. African Cats captures the real-life love, humor, and determination of the majestic kings of the savannah. Narrated by Samuel Jackson, the story features Mara, an endearing lion cub who strives to grow up with her mother's strength, spirit, and wisdom. Sita, a fearless cheetah and single mother of 5 mischievous newborns, and Fang, a proud leader of the pride who must defend his family from a rival lion and his sons. I also find it kind of amusing that Samuel Jackson is actually voicing a legitimate documentary, because the last one he did was the March of the Penguins spoof, Farce of the Penguins, which I never got a chance to talk about on here, but man, if you want to see something really hilarious, Farce of the Penguins is it. It's a funny parody, directed by Bob Saget, featuring this great cast, and the narration by Samuel Jackson. Definitely check that one out if you haven't seen it. But as far as African Cats go, it's kind of like the other Disney nature movies. It's fine for what it is. You can tell that they only put this out because, hey, Earth Day's coming up, so we need to continue this tradition of a new Disney nature documentary every Earth Day, which I think they still continue to do over on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they still have a couple of movies that do show up on there. Like the last one was The Sea Lion of the Galapagos, which came out on this past Earth Day. So I guess they are continuing to do them. But I don't know. To me personally, these just really were not my things. I mean, they're not bad. They're just kind of there. They're just kind of like, okay. I mean, this is what it is. It's nothing too amazing, nothing too spectacular. But I mean, it's cool to see these animals on the big screen. I guess you got to give it that. But other than that, though, not much more you can really say about this one. African Cats. The real life Lion King, before 8 years later we do the real life Lion King, and most people hate it, so take that for what you will. And thus, another episode of Time About the Movies comes to a close. We'll wrap up April 2011 on the next episode. And Universal is saying, fuck the first weekend of May. We're getting ahead of Marvel Studios and putting out our big blockbuster 1 week ahead of that, because next time we have the 5th installment of the Fast and Furious series, Fast 5, in which the Fast and Furious series takes that inevitable turn to becoming the must-see franchise that everybody has to go out and see. We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at Disney's latest movie, Prom, a high school comedy set on prom night. The sequel that probably could have been interesting if it was actually good, Hoodwink 2, Hood vs. Evil, which, yeah, the first movie was one of the biggest surprises. Second film, pretty much what everyone thought the first movie was going to be. But then we have the grandest epic of them all. I mean, fuck Fast 5, fuck Hoodwink 2. Come on, man. Dylan Dog Dead of Night with Brandon Routh. I mean, come on. Says no one ever. We'll talk about those movies. That'll be coming up on the next episode, which will be tomorrow. But until then, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button. And also don't forget to check out our playlist. And also don't forget to hit the top there so you can check out the latest episode. But with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.